Hey, welcome everybody to HexabusStreams. Today we are going to watch the latest press conference of President Trump. If you like this sort of content, please hit the like button and subscribe. Let's get right into it.
That's a lot of people. Go ahead, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I have two questions for you. One, do you want your Board of Peace to replace the UN?
Well, it might. I mean, the UN just hasn't been very helpful. I'm a big fan of the UN potential, but it has never lived up to its potential. The UN should have settled every one of the wars that I settled. I never went to them. I never even thought to go to them. They should be able to settle those wars. They don't. I believe you got to let the UN continue because the potential is so great.
And I wonder what...
And the UN's full of like dictatorships, and I don't know. I don't believe in all the countries that are on the UN. I think that it's kind of like what Somalia is like the president of the UN or holding that current title.
You invited Lula from Brazil to be part of the Board of Peace.
I did.
What role do you expect him
Board
to
of
play,
Peace.
especially
A big role. I like
in Venezuela?
Yeah,
and another one, because
Are you from Brazil?
Yes. The EU and Mercosur just signed a trade agreement this weekend, which is going to be the biggest trade zone, free zone in the world.
Right.
At the moment, you are talking a lot about tariffs. What is your reaction to that? So, two questions, Lula.
Well, I just think this. I think we have trade like we've never had before. We're doing better in trade than we ever have before. We're not being ripped off by every country in the world like we were before.
And I agree with.
We're doing numbers that nobody's ever thought possible. We're the richest we ever were. It's because of tariffs and the proper use of tariffs, and we're also the most secure. As an example, Iceland, without tariffs, they wouldn't even be talking to us about it. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to work out quite well. Yeah, right behind.
Thank you, Mr. President. How would you characterize your relationship with Emmanuel Macron and Keir Starmer right now? And have you spoken to them since your Truth Social post last
No, I
night?
haven't, but I think I get along very well with them. I mean, they always treat me well. They get a little bit rough when they're, when I'm not around. But when I'm around, they treat me very nicely. And, I like both of them. They're both liberal. They've got to straighten out their countries. You can't, London is having a lot of problems. And if you look at Paris, got a lot of problems. They have two problems, immigration and energy. They got to stop with the windmills, and they got to go back like UK has an unbelievable asset called the North Sea. Norway uses it, makes a fortune. They have a better section of it, and they don't do it. They could straighten out their countries, and it would be good. But I get along very well with them.
You told Norway's prime minister.
Are you from Norway?
No.
You look like you would be from Norway. She looks like she's from Norway. Go ahead.
You told Norway's prime minister that you not winning the Nobel Peace Prize made you feel less obligated to think purely of peace.
Well, I lost a lot of respect for Norway. And I believe very strongly that Norway controls the Nobel Prize. But you have to understand, I settled 8 wars.
Guys, it's true. He has settled 8 wars. If anybody should have got the Nobel Peace Prize, it's this man right here.
I've had every one of those wars, every participant wrote, I didn't ask him to do it. They sent in strong they make recommendations for that. But I settled 8 wars. No president's probably ever settled 1 war. I don't know, think of it. I did 8. The reason I do it is because it's easy for me to do. And I didn't do it for a Nobel Prize. I did it because I'm saving a lot of lives. I'm trying to settle the final one. I'm trying to do Russia-Ukraine. And when Russia's ready, Ukraine's not. When Ukraine's ready, Russia's not. But they're losing 25,000 people a month on average. And I'm trying to get that one.
Yeah, it seems like every time we get Ukraine ready to settle, Russia will send some missiles over and bomb a city. And then once Russia's like, okay, well, maybe we'll talk about it. Well, here comes Ukraine doing a drone attack, blowing the vehicle up or something, killing somebody. So yeah, these two countries are really bumping heads.
But no, I feel that Norway has tremendous control over who gets the Nobel Prize, despite what they say.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Woo! Guys, I think we're gonna find out. What do you guys think? Damn.
Mr. President, Kevin Hassett has said that those $2,000 tariff rebate checks would be up to Congress to decide whether or not to disperse that. Do you agree with Kevin Hassett on that, or do you think you can do that unilaterally?
No, I don't think we would have to go the Congress route, but we'll find out. The reason we're even talking about it is that we have so much money coming in from tariffs that we'll be able to issue at least a $2,000 dividend and also pay down debt.
What do you guys think? You guys agree with getting a $2,000 dividend check? Or do you think we should put the money back into the government and just pay more debt now? Way I look at it, we are one of the most taxed countries in the world. We could use a tax break. Send that money our direction, please. Please. Not to mention, we save so much money dodging all these bogus programs. I think American people deserve a little reprieve. What do you guys think?
For the country, but we'd do a $2,000 dividend to the people of our country. Would probably set a limit of, income limit where it made sense. But we will be able to make a very substantial dividend to the people of our country. I believe we can do that without Congress.
Last night on Truth Social, you said that the British plan to hand the base of Diego Garcia over to Mauritius and then rent it back was an act of great stupidity. Previously, you've backed that deal. Is it now your position that the deal should not go ahead?
I think that they, when they originally were going to do it, they were talking about doing some concept of ownership. But now they're looking to essentially just do a lease and sell it. And I'm against that. It's a reasonably nothing like Greenland, but it's a reasonably important area of the globe. Not to anywhere near Greenland, but I think they should keep it. I don't know why they're doing it. Do they need money?
Mr. President, with your support to the Syrian government, most probably you avoided another civil war and a bloodshed in Syria, especially after the fall of the regime.
I did a good job.
And, the Syrian government, the last 2 weeks, had to use some force to implement its force on specific areas. And
well,
with
to keep the prisoners, the terrorist prisoners, which are some of the worst in the world, at bay. So they were able to keep that. He's working very hard. The president of Syria is working very, very hard. Strong guy, tough guy, pretty rough resume. But you're not going to put a choir boy in there.
Is it just me, or is the media asking real questions for a change? Usually it's all very targeted in some sort of way to put a bad spin on whatever Trump says. Even their questions come across condescending or come across as statements. It seems like this press corps here is actually asking real questions. I'm shocked, guys. I'm fucking shocked.
And, get the job done. I spoke with him yesterday because we were talking about the prisons and, what was going on. We have some of the worst terrorists in the world in those prisons, and he's watching them.
On Syria.
Mr. President, Gavin Newsom is going to be at Davos if he's not already there. You're probably going to run into him. I presume that this is for him to raise his platform for 2028, but what do you anticipate his foreign policy platform is going to be?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that he's going to be the nominee. I know this. I had a very good relationship with Gavin Newsom when we were, in office together. I was president. He was the governor of California. We had he would talk about it often, and somewhere we just went astray. I just hate the way California is being run. We actually have people leaving. It's never happened before, but I hate the way it's being run. He and I had a very good relationship, really close to the word exceptional. But
the way they overtax their citizens. Elon got a lot of it, right? Down the tax and stuff. And then all the wildfires that could have been prevented. I don't know. It seems like to me just neglect or stupidity. I'm not sure. One or the other.
Now we seem not to.
Thank you, President Trump. President Trump.
Greenland,
You spoke earlier.
Mr. President. You've been hearing from allies.
Thank you.
Above you.
Thank you so much, President Trump. Karen Castanova from Lindell TV. And you spoke earlier about the 2020 election. Now that Maduro is in U.S. custody and he was criminally charged, has any more information emerged that you could share with us regarding Venezuelan election software and Venezuelan ties to tampering with the 2020 election? And would you consider speaking to Maduro personally in prison in New York to get some answers?
Yeah, guys, I was hearing something about like the voting software that we use or system we use was from Venezuela. Is that true? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. But the way they're framing this question, that kind of leads me to think it is.
Answers on Venezuela's involvement with the 2020 election.
No, I don't think I would be doing that. I think my lawyers would be very unhappy if I did that. Yeah, they've learned some things. Please.
What happens to the tariff threat to Greenland if the Supreme Court comes out and rules against you on the tariffs? And
Well, I'll have to use something else. I mean,
are
look,
you willing to use force?
take a look at the word license. Take a look at other things. I mean, we have other alternatives. But what we're doing now is the best, the strongest, the fastest, the easiest, the least complicated.
Sir, if you move ahead with the Greenland-related tariffs on Europe, you secured almost $1 trillion of commitments from them to invest in the United States. Does that go kaput out the window if that happens?
I doubt it. Look, they need that agreement very badly with us. They really do. They fought very hard to get it, so I doubt that. But we'll see what happens. We have a lot of meetings scheduled on Greenland. I'm leaving tonight, as you know, for Davos. And we have a lot of meetings scheduled on Greenland. And I think things are going to work out pretty well, actually.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could you still go to Paris for the G7 emergency meeting as offered by President Macron?
No, I wouldn't do that. No. Because, Emmanuel's not going to be there very long. And there's no longevity there. He's a friend of mine. He's a nice guy. I like Macron, but he's not going to be there very much longer, as you know. And I think I have meetings with the people that are directly involved, not some of the people you're talking about.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Happy
I've
New Year.
never seen this room like this. Is this a celebration of the first year? Yes. Have you ever seen it? I've never seen this many. I hope we have a very good structural floor. This used to be a swimming pool. You're sitting over a swimming pool. I could see that happening. But we need a good structure here, don't we, huh? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Happy 1 year anniversary.
Thank you.
And my question is on Syria. The Kurds, as the most loyal U.S. partners, facing attacks by some Syrian elements within the Syrian government. Will you do to ensure the Kurdish rights protected and their effective forces against terrorism in Rojava, Syria continue, as the Kurdish see you as a president does not abandon his allies?
Well, I like the Kurds, but just so you understand, the Kurds were paid tremendous amounts of money, were given oil and other things, so they were doing it for themselves, more so than they were doing it for us, but we got along with the Kurds, and we are trying to protect the Kurds. That's correct.
Ahead of your speech in Davos, can you give us a preview of what we can expect as far as laying out the plans for Americans to be able to buy homes?
I think more than anything else, what I'm going to be speaking about is the tremendous success that we've had in 1 year. I didn't think we could do it this fast. Think of it, it's just now 12 months, and I say it often, we have the most successful country in the world. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, and this country would have been absolutely stone cold dead. And I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be, because, a lot of them could use some of the advice as to what we did. They need energy. You take a look at their energy policy, they're going to destroy themselves with what they're doing with the windmills and all the nonsense. They need energy help badly, or they're going to be in big trouble, and they need immigration help badly. How much longer do you want to go?
Call it.
I do? I have a very important call with President Erdogan, who I like a lot. All right, one or two more questions. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. During
Go
your
ahead,
second,
please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The red blouse. Go ahead.
You talked a lot at the beginning of this about the economy, some positive economic indicators. Polling shows a majority of Americans don't feel the economy is doing well. Are you worried you're making the same mistake as President Biden by telling
No, I hope I don't make the same mistake as him. Look, I inherited a terrible, it's a great question because we inherited a terrible, terrible mess between the border, between all the problems. The whole country was falling apart. And in 12 months, less than 12 months, in 12 months, we have the strongest border we've ever had. We have prices that are much, much lower than they were for the last. We inherited very high prices. We inherited, remember this, inflation was at a historic high. We had never had inflation like that. They say 48 years, but whether it's 48 years or ever, we had the highest inflation, in my opinion, that we've ever had. Prices, because of that, were very high. I inherited, we brought down eggs immediately. Remember the first news conference, they were screaming at me about eggs. I was in the position for 2 days, and we brought eggs down to lower than what they were before. And by the way, they continue that way. We brought the prices down from when I came into office and from what Biden had, way down. We're going to bring them down further. But the job we did is a miracle. One of the reasons I'm doing this today is to explain. We inherited a mess, and we've made it a beautiful, beautiful.
No, yeah, Trump's absolutely right. As far as eggs go, there was some sort of thing going around where eggs had to get thrown out, and so there was just a big shortage of eggs. And so once we were able to catch back up with production, price came back down. But I think he started sourcing eggs from other sources that we weren't getting eggs from before, so it kind of helped. But then once our production got back to where it should have been, the prices came back down. Well, inflation, yeah, he was right. It was up. And really, this is his first, anniversary of his first term. First year in office. So what has he done so far? Well, the economy, inflation's down, like you mentioned. Guys, look at the gas prices. How's it looking for you? It looks pretty damn good to me. Energy production surging, stock market's rebounding. If you look at border and immigration, border crossings has been cut dramatically, if anything. We've got mass deportations started again, it hasn't been like this since the Obama era. We have the Remain in Mexico policy reinstated. Huge pressure on the cartels now, right? A lot of those guys are declared terrorist organizations. He's challenging all the sanctuary cities. As far as foreign policy goes, well, let's see. The Iran nuclear program's been struck. We've got Maduro, right? So regime's collapsing there. Hamas leadership's been targeted. China has been put back on trade defense. We're now again enforcing NATO payments. They weren't paying their fair share. What do we even get NATO for? I don't know. And then you're talking about global power moves. So the Greenland negotiations has been reopened. The Panama Canal influence has been restored. Mexico and Colombia are both on notice. You've sending drugs our direction. Your ass is fucking next. Okay. Red Sea shipping's been secured. Okay. Houthis have been suppressed. If we look at military and defense, let's see. The border's been militarized, so that's why we're not seeing any crossings. Drone strikes, I can't speak. Drone strikes have been expanded. Defense spending has increased. I think by by 1.5 billion or something like that. The Space Force program has been expanded. It was created under Trump's first term, guys, and our hypersonic programs have been accelerated. If we're looking at government and law, guys. Well, let's see. The DOJ leadership's been replaced. The FBI has been reorganized. The deep state purge has begun. Executive power has been restored. And we've done a lot of regulatory rollbacks. If you're looking at cultural and political impact, guys, look at the nation. Corporate DEI programs rolled back, okay? Free speech protections have been expanded. Federal bureaucracy cuts. Doge the crap out of that crap stuff, right? And then the media influence has been broken. I can already tell just in this press conference here, they're a lot more respectful, right? So a lot has happened, guys, in this first term. So, all right, we'll get back to it.
Picture. Think of gasoline at $1.99 in many states. $1.99 a gallon. It was $4.50, $5, in some cases $6 or $7. We're at $1.99. And energy is so big that with energy, everything else comes down. But the prices are coming way down. And we're going to bring them down further. But we started up here with these guys. We inherited a country that was broken. We inherited a country, and I have a very warm spot. We've done very well with Venezuela. And by the way, that even in itself.
And what scares the hell out of me, I don't understand. I do not understand this, guys. Every time the left gets in office, the first thing they do is, oh God, global warming. We got to stop drilling. We're not going to do that no more. We're going to start these other alternative power, programs. Energy costs goes through the roof, right? Your pay at the pump is high as ever. And who's affected by that? The people that are voting for this bullshit are the ones most affected. The most impoverished people are the ones voting to be more impoverished. It makes no sense at all, guys. You guys want low gas prices, lower food prices, less inflation? You gotta stop voting left. You gotta start voting right for now.
Is going to help us bring down the oil prices. I mean, the Venezuelan oil, we've taken 50 million gallons of oil. We've taken 50 million barrels of oil out of Venezuela in the first 4 days. We've got millions of barrels of oil left. We're selling it on the open market. We're bringing down oil prices incredibly. And when they come down, and they've already come down, again, $1.99 a gallon for oil. Nobody thought they'd ever see it. All right, one or two more.
It's not quite that low where I'm at yet, but it's a lot lower than what it was. We're still like in the 230s, 240s.
Go ahead, go. Yes.
President,
Yes.
I want to ask you about Iran. Is the military option still on the table? And can you assure us that the killing in Iran has stopped? And when regard to the Peace Council, which members have to pay $1 billion?
So with Iran, are you from Iran?
No, I cover the White House.
Where are you from?
I'm Palestinian American.
So with Iran, they were going to hang 837
Facts.
people. And
Facts,
let it be
guys.
known that, and we let them know that if that happens, that will be a very bad day for them.
Okay, so they didn't hang these people. That doesn't mean they let these people go. I haven't heard anybody say that they're free to go. That means they're sitting in some prison somewhere, possibly being tortured or worse, or forced into hard labor, or whatever these people can imagine to do to these guys. They're political prisoners at this point. So sometimes death might be a better option. I don't know. I would love to know what's happened to these people.
And they decided not to do it. They didn't hang the people. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future, but supposedly they've taken that off the table. But they were going to, last week, they were going to hang on Thursday or Wednesday. They were going to hang, I think, 837 people, and they didn't hang anybody. So we're just going to have to see what happens with Iran. Is the military option off the table?
We're off the table, guys.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. President Trump.
Thank you, President
Go
Trump.
ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Go ahead, I'll take your question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Go
Mr.
ahead,
President.
right here.
Thank you, Mr. President. You promised during your second inaugural to always put America first. I'm curious, how would you winning the Nobel Peace Prize improve the lives of average, everyday Americans? Why is this prize so important?
It wouldn't improve the lives of any. But what improved the lives of people are people that are living. I saved probably tens of millions of lives in the wars. If you add up the numbers, just if you look at any.
That was kind of a bullshit question. You can definitely tell it's probably CNN or one of those fake news outlets.
Any one of those wars, you're talking about millions of people. You multiply it times 8. But when you look at India and Pakistan, that could have been 10, 15, 20 million people. Could have been more than that. So I saved millions of people. So that, to me, is the big thing. What?
You suggested a moment ago that perhaps the reason why a positive story about the economy isn't getting through is because of, bad communications people. But are average Americans wrong to still feel high prices? And how much longer does the White House hope that they...
So I think a lot of people are listening to the fake news a little bit. And I'm not blaming anybody. I think I blame ourselves. I think we've done a much better job than we're able to promote. We're not promoting. We're doing a great job, and we're sort of letting the promotion take care of itself. One of the reasons I'm doing this news conference, I think it's important. We have taken a mess and made it really good. It's going to get even better. But if you look at prices from a year or a year and a half ago, you look at the Biden prices, they were way up through the sky. And, they use the word affordability. They just say affordability, and they don't talk about it. They created the affordability problem, and we are solving it. We have solved a lot of it. Again, everybody agrees in this room, I think, gasoline prices have come per gallon way down. When that happens, everything else comes down, but they've come down way down. Many of the groceries have come way down. It's all happening, and it's happening strong. But if you go back a year and a half, 2 years, take a look at those prices and look at the prices now.
Also, every time we have a conference or anything that's kind of showing Trump in a good light, I get comments from some of you lefties saying, "Well, what about the Epstein files?" We'll talk about that, but why don't you guys tell me why Bill Clinton is ducking the Senate hearings? I want to know about that. Then we'll proceed to speak more about the Epstein files. Let's continue.
Mr. President of Venezuela, you made a condition.
Where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
Nice place.
Thank you. You made a condition that the political prisoners should be freed. It seems that they are not being as fast as they promised in the beginning. Would that be an issue for the current government?
They've agreed that they're going to let, I guess, most of them out. Or depends on what they did, but they have released a lot of. Released a lot of political prisoners in Venezuela.
Mr. President, earlier on last year, you had indicated that you wanted to take back the Panama Canal. I know we've heard a lot about Greenland. Is that still on the table?
I don't want to tell you that.
Anytime Trump says, "I don't want to tell you that," that means it's still on the fucking table, guys. Something's gonna happen there.
Sort of. I must say, sort of. That's sort of. Okay, one more. Yes, blonde, blue. Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead with the blue, holding the computer.
If a consequence of your determination to take control of Greenland is the ultimate breakup of the NATO alliance, is that a price you're willing to pay?
You mean the breakup of it's very interesting.
The breakup of NATO, which basically is just the United States, because nobody else does shit, right? Trump had to get everybody just to, again, pay their own fair share. And somehow NATO thinks they're going to stand up against us over Greenland. We need to stop funding these guys, and that whole thing breaks apart.
So I think something's going to happen that's going to be very good for everybody. Nobody's done more for NATO than I have, as I said before, in every way. Getting them to go up to 5% of GDP was something that nobody thought was possible, and pay. At 2%, they weren't paying. At 5%, they are paying. And they're buying a lot of things from us, and they're giving them, I guess, to Ukraine. That's up to them, but they're giving them to whoever they're giving them to, but they're buying a lot. I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy. But we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important. How about it?
Thank you very much. First of all, last year you told me that you believe that the reason you won the election is because God put you in this place so that you could save the world. Looking back 1 year, do you feel like God is proud of the effort that you've put in?
I do, actually. I think God is very proud of the job I've done. And that includes for religion. You know, we're protecting a lot of people that are being killed, Christians, Jewish people, and lots of people are being protected by me that wouldn't be protected by another type of president. No, I think a lot of people are very proud of the job we've done. We've had an amazing year. This has been one of the greatest years. Even some people.
I would love to hear an update on the whole South African white farmer, genocide issue. I know he brought in the president of South Africa, and he was basically embarrassed him, like live, like showing like all the grave sites and everything else, like just the line the streets. Some of you guys remember that or not? So I wonder, if there's been any action there.
People that wouldn't necessarily love me instinctively, they're saying this was an incredible year. We've had an incredible year economically. Look at our border. Our border was a disaster. People poured. It was an invasion into our country of a lot of very bad people. Good people too, but a lot of very bad people from prisons and drug dealers and gangs and horrible people, murderers. Thousands and thousands of murderers allowed into our country. And we now have the strongest border of any country. There's probably not a country, I guess North Korea has a pretty strong border, by the way, but there's not a country in the world that has a border like we do. And we took it from the worst border. We had the worst border in the world. Now we have one of the strongest borders in the world. One more question.
You said you're confident something's going to get worked out in Greenland, but Greenlanders have made it clear they don't want to be part of the U.S.
Well,
what gives the U.S. the right to take away that self-determination?
When I speak to them.
So there's two sides to that same story. Yeah, she might go target a couple people like, no, we don't want to be part of the U.S. So I've seen plenty of people who said they do want to be part of the U.S. So I've seen it from both sides. So again, she's coming from the left, just trying to make some sort of political hit on our president here. Now, I'm not saying 100% of the Greenlanders want to become the United States, but 100% of the Greenlanders are not opposed to it. I mean, I think we offer a lot more than Denmark does.
I'm sure they'll be thrilled.
Mr. President, are you committed to keeping the U.S. in NATO?
I've had such a good relationship. I've made it so much better, so much stronger. It's so good now. NATO is so much stronger now. I don't agree with a lot of the things they've done, but that was done before I got there. I think NATO's been good. Sometimes it's overrated, sometimes it's not. But we have a strong NATO. When I came here, we had a weak NATO. We had a NATO at 2%, and they weren't paying. You had a nothing NATO. NATO's, whether you like it or not, it's only as good as we are. If NATO doesn't have us, NATO is not very strong.
That's what I was saying, guys. That's what I was saying.
Thank you. Yes, no, behind you, please.
Thank you, President Trump.
Yes, go ahead.
Really appreciate it, sir. We heard a long list of accomplishments from the last year. Could you cherry pick the top three? And then looking forward, what are your three most important priorities in 2026?
So I think the building of a really powerful military has been a great achievement, and that would include the Venezuela thing. That would include the attack on Iran and the wiping out of the nuclear threat. I think
the whole Venezuela attack and how that all went down, guys, was wild. It was some really cool technology to subdue, I guess, the Cubans that they had hired to guard them, as well as the Venezuela, Maduro's bodyguards. If you guys want me to do a whole reaction to that, well, let me know in the comments.
that's been really amazing what we've done militarily. I think what we've done in business has been incredible. We have $18 trillion coming in. Plants are being built all over. Thousands of plants are being built all over the country. 18 trillion is a record. No country has ever come anywhere even close to that. I think that's a record. And I think that most favored nations for drugs is something that nobody thought they'd be able to get. Tariffs helped me there because the nations would have never gone along with it if I wasn't able to say, if you don't go along with it, we're going to put a 10 or 15 or 20% tariff on your nation. And they went along. And
all right, guys. Well, it's pretty much over here. So, but yeah, first year of Trump being in office. Again, I read down all the list of accomplishments. He's done great. He's done more than any other president has ever done for this country, as far as I'm concerned, across all facets. So I do truly think he is making America great again. I think he's making Venezuela great again. And hopefully soon we can make Greenland great again. Until next time, this is Hex signing out.